Hey guys, how's it going? This will be the first video with the upgraded camera, so hopefully the video audio is a little bit better. Don't know until we try, but yeah, welcome back to another episode on getting ready for the Ultimate Callout Challenge. Again, that'll be happening in May. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about merch and stuff. Honestly, guys, I never thought this channel would actually put me in a spot where I could do something like that. So I've kind of been I got the logo approved. I got the first batch of stickers done. The lady that prints them for me just had a baby. So we are running a little bit behind, but that's okay because honestly, I don't have the logistical side of it taken care of, but I do appreciate everybody asking and wanting to support the channel. That's huge. It means a lot. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just trying to get 2 trucks ready for 2 different events and figure out the logistics side of the merch. I think my wife's gonna take over the shipping part, so that should go live. But anyway, if you guys come to UCC, come check us out. We're in pit 25 down at the end. I will bring, if I have shirts, I'll bring some shirts. I definitely have stickers that I will be bringing, and I will sell those at the show just to support the channel. I appreciate it, guys. It means a lot. We're done with that. Let's move on. 05. So you guys saw us grind, cut. That was probably the most boring episode on YouTube ever. But shout out to my man Turbo Tom, the cutting and grinding expert. A lot of people thought we were making fun of him. Honestly, like, this work sucks, and Turbo Tom made it fun to do. So huge thank you to Tom, and I can't wait to meet you and really get to shake your hand at UCC. Looking forward to it. But to the topic at hand, we bought a set of Firepunk shock mounts. This is the box they came in, nicely packaged. And basically what's different about the Firepunk kit isn't how they did it or anything like that. Our options for our axles were always 3-inch. If you go on Summit, there's these QA1s right here. This is what I used to have to use. And basically what you end up doing is having to trim the radius right here. This was the biggest one that Summit sells. And you guys can see here, it's for a 3-inch and not a 4-inch axle. So huge shout out to the guys over in Plain City, Ohio for seeing a need. So all we've done so far is I got my lead for the ground down, and then I got the axle tubes all cleaned up. And then one thing, I know I'm not a welding expert, but if you're gonna DIY this, clean, you guys see how we ground this down, clean metal. I find for my welding prep work, this little Milwaukee with a sanding wheel or one of these abrasive discs works extremely well. No cord, no air, doesn't get in the way. So we got all this prepped. Now, I'm doing this by myself, and after reading suspension books, I want the shocks to be perpendicular to the ground. So what we're gonna do is measure from the backing plate over, that way we can get it even, or actually the leaf spring perch over to get it even. Now on this side's not too bad, we just have the brake line. On this side we have the junction box for the brake lines and the breather for the diff. So we got to kind of cheat this one off to the side a little bit. So what I'm going to do is figure out where this side can go, and then I'm going to mirror it on this side here. And basically I'm going to make a mark here, and then I'm going to use 2-inch wide painter's tape. And what the painter's tape is going to allow me to do is run a complete circle and keep the bracket mounted straight. And then for the up and down, what I'm going to do is draw a reference line across the support here on the diff, the webbing, draw it straight across the axle, and that'll give me a nice centering point to set the pitch of this bracket here, like forward, back, to get the right dimensions there. So we're gonna go ahead and get that set up. I can't really get a camera in here, so what I'm gonna do is like do a couple steps, take a break, show you guys, do a couple steps, take a break, show you guys. Hopefully it's enough for you to follow along. This isn't a UCC thing. Honestly, if this works out well, I'm gonna do this on my 07. Meyer is 4-link in the shorty, so even if you have like a hot street truck, guys, this can apply to you. Hopefully I do a good job of presenting the information. Without further ado, let's get to work. All right, guys, so we have our first one mocked up. You guys can see I did the tape and then I put an X on what side the bracket needs to go to, and then you guys see the triangular mark going that way right there. That is the center line from the axle web, and I did that just mainly as a second like a last minute check. And then what I did is the floor here is actually level, so make sure you check it before you do it. I took a T-square and I made sure that our bracket is straight on the axle, and then I also checked it from the side to make sure we are perpendicular to the ground. Obviously this one moved a little bit, but that is how I squared it up. I'm gonna go get this tacked. All right guys, so Papa Stump's up and running. Damn thing's so loud. But called Meyer over. He just helped it from pulling. We got everything tacked right now on both sides, nice and straight. I just measured for our Viking shocks. We're gonna have plenty of travel with this Firepunk setup. And basically what's gonna happen, guys, is we're gonna put the bracket on with one of my old shocks, one of the Bilsteins, and we're just going to use the L square and square them up, and then we're gonna weld a piece of DOM across from frame rail to frame rail with the tabs from the Firepunk kit here that they give you onto that bar, and that'll be our top mount. And then from there we can move on to the DOM tubing that's going to go from leaf spring shackle to leaf spring shackle. My fear is if we leave this out, it allows the frame to kind of pull in and go out where these leaf springs, because this was a big part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to triangulate it this way to really stiffen up this back part. And then once we're done with that, then we can go ahead and get our fuel cell mounted in between these two bars. I just can't do the fuel cell until I figure out where the bars are going to be. All right, so we got our lower mounts all burned in. Yeah, guys, MIG for the win on this job. I am not good enough to TIG like that, and I don't want these falling off, so we gave them the MIG job. Don't really care. Now we're gonna go ahead and get our other shocks mocked up in here so we can set the top bar. I'll go ahead and get that done. So we got our shocks, honestly, or these don't fit quite like the Vikings will, but those are a couple weeks out. So we wanted to get a jump. I already checked, we have plenty of adjustment on these shock brackets to accommodate the ride height. Now we're gonna go ahead and knock out this tubing here. I don't know if I want to do it on the back side or the front side. I'm really not sure yet. Either way, I think we can get our tubing cut though and go from there. So basically we got to figure out where is perpendicular on these shocks, and then measure the spread of the frame. I measured before and after we cut this out, and we are still square on the frame, which is nice. But yeah, looking good. I don't know why, guys, but when you get like the anodized blue or red or clear anodized shocks and they hang down, they just look so cool. So I'm excited to get the Vikings in, but I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this mocked up. All right, so I decided on the forward movement. It has way more clearance from here to the diff than it does on the bump stops, so I'm not worried about that. And then one of the main reasons why is where they tube the frame right there is like a backstop. That way the bar, in case my welding is subpar, it is gonna make the fuel cell bracket a little bit longer, but I'm not that worried about it. So let's go ahead and get this welded in. We got this bar all burned in. I had to start and stop. That's why it looks, actually doesn't look that bad, but that's where I started and stopped to get the right angle on the gun. Now we can go ahead, get our shock brackets tacked in. I think the easiest way to do it is, now that I've set the in and out, we just got to set the left to right and then the height on the bar here. So I'm gonna get it measured to make sure it fits the end goal, which is the QA ones. We have our upper shock mounts, our DOM tubing, everything is finished welded. She looks great. I am thrilled. I did this on a 12 valve once and I wasn't too happy with it. Don't worry about the shock being kicked over. The bracket needs to get tweaked a little, but man, they just look so much better. So much better. And again, guys, these are just the temporary shocks in case we need to test the truck or anything, drive it. We have some shocks back here. There's plenty of adjustment for the much shorter adjustable Vikings, but I'm gonna call it a night tonight. We'll pick this back up. Same video of us doing the rear one. Looking at it, I think I might add a triangular gusset from the bar down there just to the far outside, but kind of still thinking on it. Once the Vikings get here, if they clear more of this tower, we might put a tab across the top there too, but all in a night's work. Okay, so some time has passed. We got the bar, and then I was gonna gusset it, and then I just decided I'm not cut out for tubing notching, so we added a second bar, and then we tied them together with that 1/4 inch or 3/16 plate right there. Definitely gonna be strong, just like the factory. Won't let the frame flex in with the leaf shackles, hopefully. Now we're gonna go ahead and start test fitting the fuel cell. Try to figure out how we're gonna mount that. It'll be 2 horizontal bars that go from tube to tube, and then the U bracket to hold it in. We're mocking up the fuel cell. These are the brackets we got from Summit. As you guys can see here, a little short, so we're gonna have to make some tabs off this bar and then a tab here, make it really easy to drop in and out. Plenty of clearance on the diff, stuck out a little bit from this bar here, not too low, so you could still see the Mag High Tech cover for all the haters. And we'll be able to get our sled pull bracket bars in as well. And then we got the man himself here from Colorado, and he is installing a standalone engine harness. There's the first part of the plug right there, and we pulled the trigger. He's gonna do the whole truck, unfortunately for him. Be cool. 849. So we got our angle iron tabs here off this cross member, and then we spaced it out with some 3/16 angle, and we radiused this with a whiz wheel. Welded it in all the way, both sides. Now we're ready to drop it in. The only thing we're gonna add, Meyer picked up some of this foam from Napa, and we're gonna line all the bars with it. That way it gives it a little chafing protection on the fuel cell and doesn't rub through the aluminum. So I'll get this all set in and show you guys the finished product. Our fuel cell all put in here. If I do say so myself, this is probably the best one I've done ever. We're gonna leave those loose though, because Shad's got to weld some more bungs in it. But yeah, plenty of ground clearance. As you guys can see there, shouldn't have any issues. We have good clearance off this bar. We got about 3 inches off the diff cover. We got our shock things there. I mean, this is it, guys. We got all the mods done except for the sled pull stuff. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw our big hitch products hitch on, get our roll pan mounted up, and that's about it. This video has gone on long enough. We got all the rear end fabrication pretty much done. Got the hitch in, got some of our stuff. On the next episode, we're gonna bolt the sled pull setup, not the front because Jeremy's still working up there, but we'll bolt the rear all in, make sure everything still fits. We got all the bolts, make sure we have the proper hitch height. We won't have the bed on still, but by far of all the looks of the 05, I gotta say the sled pull setup just does it for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below what you think. If we could have done stuff better, just know I'm not gonna change it because I don't want to cut it off. And subscribe if you have not already. As always, I'll catch you on the next one.